Okay, hopefully this is working again. Hold on, let me just see. Okay, it seems we're back online. Let me just get it up here and then I'll turn the camera back on. I don't know what happened then. It was still going on X. Stream was still running fine on X. It just stopped on YouTube. I have no idea why. Internet's absolutely fine. Cool. All right, we are good. Where were we? Yeah, so hype. This was the trade I've been in. I'm still holding some. I don't have a huge amount of long exposure left. There goes NQ taking the... Oh, highs. Highs. I thought that would be the lows. So another new all-time high. Again. I assumed it would have just been taking that out when I heard the alert. So yeah, ideally for me, I want to see this. I want to see this kind of thing. That would just be fantastic. I mean, kind of similar to what we had back here, right? This high, low, high, take lows continuation, but just faster. A lot faster now. What's the crown and number 1 doing next to my name? Did I win something? I think it's just the like biggest contributor during a stream, the person who's commented the most. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, cool. What else is there? I think ETH just nice bounce as well. All right. ETH BTC. See if ETH BTC gets back up here. I mean, ideally, I want to see ETH BTC back up here. Okay, cool. BTC scaring us. Yeah, there's nothing scary about this. Yeah, this would be perfect. Sweep 115 on New York Open and 120. I don't know if this happens today. We've got PPI tomorrow. So maybe a bit of a rally. If NQ can continue higher, if equities can continue higher throughout today after the data we've just had, and then we have a rally from BTC back up towards these highs. Then maybe tomorrow we come down, grab those lows. Towards the end of the week, again, we have a bit of a bounce. I don't know, like from a time frame perspective, this is just, it could be anything. I think we're not going to get all the way up here and all the way down here today. I mean, we might, but I don't think it's likely. But yeah, if we do come down to 115 today, then sure, get a bit of a bounce. So the other thing is this just gets continuation lower and we bounce back up to here, and then maybe find this kind of thing. Still resolving higher in my opinion, but yeah. So I do need alerts once again. We're just gonna pile on a ton of alerts until we get something interesting here. If we get something interesting here, we have now 30 minutes to go until New York Open. Maybe I'm going to make myself a nice tea. Oh, the chair is so squeaky. Hold on. Alright. Yeah, this stage, I'm literally just trying to pass time until New York Open now. Because we started a little bit earlier for CPI. Weekly, we haven't seen any corrections since November 2022 bottom. I mean, yeah, well, we have. Like... but yeah, big ass uptrend, right? And it is, this is a parabolic advance. And until this gets broken, sometime eventually, where can we draw this? Try and just make it fit. We're looking at like this, right? It's just mad. So what we're seeing now is very similar, or like a lot more like that 2017 cycle than it is the 2021 right now. A lot more like this one. If we look log, whoa. Look at the log scale. Yeah, levels basically match up here. So 135 highs if you're pinning that to log, 138, 130, 138. Doesn't make too much difference. But yeah, at some stage, like, price obviously is going to go back below 100k again, but that could really be like bear market bottom when that eventually happens. I think we're a long way off of looking at a bear market right now. Still thinking DXY goes lower. There's a few more months where I think this could just continue to fall. Like for myself, I've been saying this since we were up at these highs beginning of the year, right? I do fully expect like 90 on the DXY. We're at 98 now. We're at 110. We're like halfway through, essentially. A little bit more than halfway through. I think a dollar bear market, a crypto and risk asset bull market, and then we just find that we get this kind of thing. So our next, the timing of this lines up perfectly. All right, if this can come back down like 90, if DXY is around 90 in like October, November of this year, that's when you want to be getting out. Just get out of everything. Next bear market, we see the dollar just rising once again, and it could just be really, really simple stuff. I think right now it's relatively simple what the market's doing. It is just, we're just looking at price discovery, expansion higher, and it is the only like thing that's just slightly unknown is, do we get alts like start to take off as well, or is this just going to be the Bitcoin super cycle that everyone always bangs on about? We'll hear that if price starts going above like 130, 140k, there'll be talk of like this big Bitcoin super cycle, and altcoins just not getting any love. Right. Low time frame as we go into New York. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if we can spike these lows, or if this just does continue to push higher. Similar kind of situation on Ethereum. Taking out these highs. There we go. There they go. Okay, if anyone wants to be attempting scalp shorts as we go into New York Open, I think now's a good time to be trying something like that. Even on NQ, right? Also, look. Wait, where's my... Oh, what? It's not here. Basically, I had this long yesterday. I posted this on Twitter. It's not here anymore. Or did I do it on this chart? I need to save... Yeah, this one. So that was good, right? that worked out very, very well. Edwin, just wrote you a nice message before the other stream broke. Basically, good to see you back and hear your thoughts on the general markets. Also, let's get some contracts into the NQ. Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah, I will be streaming more often. For sure. extremely tempted by, at least for today, by a couple of little shorts. Especially if there's anything that's really pumping. Pengu, another all-time highs again. I don't think I even had a chance to compound this. Oh, I did. Okay, I did buy yesterday. Not a lot. So I did add on Pengu at 0.028. So yeah, yesterday when we were down here, around here, yeah, it was the retest of that weekly. Bitcoin's above that high. It's through it. ETH short. Ooh, is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know. We've already come this. No. No. I'm not gonna try and risk shorting this just yet. Pump thoughts. Yeah, we can cover pump. Hasta la vista, Barbie. Welcome. Edwin, can you reflect a bit on the vault, like when to TP or add? Yeah, I'm kind of just letting it ride right now. I've not been doing very much to it. I think with the vault, it is just a case of just trying, just continue to grow that thing. I mean, it's at all-time highs. We have 192% past month return. Total value locked, just chilling. So yeah, it's looking good. I think you can do a lot better than this. You can, I don't know, like, if the market starts looking toppy at some point, or if the thing is, like, most of there's a ton. I've got a ton of shit. Like, a ton of positions. Why am I blurry? Yeah. It could have been better. The thing is with the vault, because we got this pump and it was overnight for me, I kind of had this head short position that was under for a bit, and now I've just been able to get out of part of that on this pullback. I like where it's at, just as a pretty decent portfolio thing. I think we can, yeah, we can definitely expect, if we're going to get a decent rally up until the end of the year, then 3 or 4x on that should be fine. Like, let's aim for like 20k or something, without depositing anymore, without doing anything like that. If we're at 8k now, we should easily get that up to 20 over the next like 2 or 3 months, without having to do very much at all. Russ Flame, Taurus, what's your net worth right now? 0. I have nothing. I mean, actually, that's kind of true because I did sell everything. I did sell everything in the UK. So, like, legit, when I'm actually looking at like hard assets, it's pretty much zero. I don't like. I'm over the ownership thing. Yeah. No, it's not. But it's. I don't know. I would not disclose that information. All I can say is that I'm pretty happy and pretty comfortable with what I got, and that's almost why I haven't been trading as much recently. Like the only reason I'm still going is because I enjoy doing the streaming and the community. I feel like there's a responsibility for that. But effectively retired. But that's just bullshit, right? I can't do nothing. So I have to be doing something. So yeah, still trading, but not with a goal in mind to make like mega bucks, because over the past 4 years, and even before then, I think it's been nice. Where's your Lamborghini? Yeah, that's another thing I got. Like, I never had a Lambo, but I did have a very nice car that I still had in London, but got rid of that last month. Because I'm not driving it anymore, and I gave it to my dad. He wasn't using it, so that's gone too. I have no need for a car, and yeah, still traveling. Still in Asia. Asia for the next few months. You must be one of those secret Illuminati billionaires in crypto and stocks. Smart, humble, and always spreading good vibes. Man, I wish. Like, to be honest, what I have is probably a lot lower than most people would expect. Considering that I've been here for 4 years. I've been doing this for 4 years. My aim was never to make millions and millions and millions. I did very well. It didn't make me very happy. Scaled it back, feeling much more comfortable, and just steady growth now. If I make too much money, I just know I spend it on like stupid shit, and I did that. Like when I was in London, I was just spending on stupid shit all the time, and now I'm not. So yeah, looking at more like sustainable growth, but not looking at hundreds of millions or whatever. Maybe one day, but it stresses me out too much. If you have, it's the same thing. Like, yeah, weirdly, like having too much, and then you start spending more, and then it creates more stress. And I suck at that kind of thing. You know, brother to brother advice, marriage is not that bad. Yo, we should try it. Yeah, maybe that's what I need. That would be the next step. Maybe the motivation to start making money again would be like, if I have a family, then I want to make a shitload so I can give my kids a load of money and give them a good life. But for me, nah. Glyph, Philippines. Yeah, I did Philippines earlier in the year. I was in the Philippines in January, February. Yeah, January and February. Nudge, exactly right. More money equals more spending equals need even more money. Never-ending loop of stress. Yes. So what I found, because essentially, I was in a position where, like, so for me, I was in a position where my spending was down here, right? And for the longest time, my income was like this. Okay? So spending was pretty flat. Some months I'd do well, some months I'd do shit. And then when trading started to click, and this would have been just after COVID, and I mean there was some luck involved. Okay, we had a mad bull market afterwards. I'd say bear market before that. So bear market before that was when things started to go well, and my income was still like here, and I started to become more comfortable. And then I say post COVID crash happened, and it like did this, right? And then I was a bit like, I was stressed, and then it forces you into action. Okay, so I did well during the bear market 2018. I did well. Wait, this is my. I'm gonna show you my personal trajectory of life. So we'll go like 2017, spending here, 2018, and we'll do this. So 27, like this was me working in music. Okay, 2017 bull market did quite well, got a house, and then dropped because I wasn't sure what I was doing during the bear market, but was quite comfortable. Bear market 2018 was pretty good. COVID crash happened, dropped, and then I had this kind of situation after COVID. And then what I did then was I basically thought, right, okay, at this point in like 2021, 2022, I thought this was my level, and I did this, poof, poof. Yeah, just suddenly was like, bang, I'm going to spend a fuckload of money. And then naturally what happens is this. So I go from spending let's say a few grand a month or whatever to spending like 100 grand a month. And then it was this for a while. Like I'd have some good months and I'd do this. And then it was like, it became really erratic. And yeah, okay, I still did well, but it was like up and down, up and down. My spending was up and down, up and down. And then I just made the decision, right, okay, leave the UK, get my baseline back down to around about here, and then work from this again. And then starting to travel, I just wasn't doing very much. And then it's kind of doing this again. So it's bringing the baseline down and finding more sustainable growth once again. So it kind of did that. Like spending was down here. I did well, bang, up goes the spending, because it was the first time I really had like a lot of money, and just the first time you do it, you're just going to spend, aren't you? You're going to have fun with it. And then, right, okay, let's make this more sustainable, bring it back down to something that's manageable again. Traveling the world, crazy, but it's a lot cheaper than living in London. And now, once again, it's just about building once again from here. So that's kind of how it was for me, right? This is nice. This is good time wasting before New York Open. Thank you, everyone. Let's get rid of these drawings. Yeah, I do like time wasting while there's nothing to trade. Did those earnings come from trading or holding longer term? So the 2017 cycle and the 2021 cycle. 2017 cycle was just purely from holding. I got quite lucky. Didn't know what I was doing. Lost most of it. 2018 bear market, I was trading quite well. And then, so like I did this in the 2018 and then it went boom. Then bear market, I was overperforming the market. And then once again, bull market happened and it kind of went up again after that. And then it's more or less like sustained a bit of growth here and there, like this kind of thing. Last summer, it was basically like last summer, wasn't it, that I got into trading the NQ and got into trading on props. And for a while, that was just like trading the NQ was kind of flat. Like I'd get some payouts, I'd blow a few accounts, I'd get a few more payouts, I'd blow a few accounts, I'd get another payout, blow a few accounts, and then once again, now it's starting to become more sustainable, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'd say it's a combination of the two. What we're going through now is essentially trading does this. So with trading, I'm not making too much, I'm just trying to get a gradual, like, all right, gradually increase week on week, just steady. And then what I do generally with altcoins is you try and get those multipliers. So okay, you can make some profit, and your crypto profits with altcoins can just be falling, and you can lose a bit of that and you can play around. But I think now is the phase of the market where it can then do this. So you've been building and building and building, and now you can start from this level and boom. So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Right. Okay, 5 minutes to go. Crazy illustration. What did you learn from trading wise? I don't know. Yeah. I think for me, I've just been through all the psychology, having no money, having quite a lot of money, not knowing what to do with it, spending it, trading big, trading too big, trading too small. Yeah. And now just fairly relaxed when it comes to trades. Like, I don't need to trade every day. I don't really feel like I'm that bothered about having to trade every day anymore. I just do it because I enjoy it, and I know that over time it's good. I know I could be a much better trader than I am. That's the other thing. Like, I know, and I've never hidden this. Like, I've never said that I'm the best trader in the world. I have a very good understanding of the market. I'm aware of that. But I'm definitely not the best trader in the world. If I journaled more, if I did more of this kind of stuff, then I could be twice as good as I am, make twice as much money as I do. But then it's a trade-off, right? So I've kind of found that balance now, where I'm comfortable with how much I trade and comfortable with how much free time I have. VWAP long on BTC. VWAP from where? I mean, let's look at from this impulse. So as we broke all-time high. Ooh. Okay, that's where we are. That is where we is at. Is VWAP from when we broke all-time high. Nice. Session VWAP? The session VWAP won't be useful today. Not anymore. Session VWAP was useful today, but I wouldn't say it's particularly useful now. What process would you follow if you had to start from scratch or just started trading to get from zero to profitability? This is funny. This isn't my cup. Look, this says never give up. Isn't that very nice? This is just the Airbnb I'm in. Never give up. There's some advice. Never give up. I didn't even know it said that. That's cool. Two minutes to go until the open. Yeah, what process would you follow if you had to start from scratch? You just started trading to get from zero to profitability. I need to think about that a little bit more. I did have a conversation about this. So I did a couple of one-to-ones recently with people that are fairly new to trading, or newish. I think just, yeah, I'd need to think about that more and do a, maybe I can think about that and write an actual response, do a little Twitter thread or a video or something like that. Do you foresee yourself holding the majority of savings capital in crypto or stocks, or do you see any benefit and hold substantial amounts in fiat real world investments? Yeah, I used to be I mean, most of what I own, it's stable coin, but it's within crypto. So I don't have a huge amount, like I don't really have much spot exposure. When I'm trading perps, but most of the assets I hold is still within crypto. Just because I only take out what I need from that. And that's how I've made like just most of my money. When I get payouts through prop firms, then that just gets spent on traveling and Airbnbs and all those kind of things, going out, trips, seeing places, flights. Yeah, I don't know. Where am I? This is New York Open now. Do I foresee holding the majority of savings? I don't think I'm ever going to be someone that's holding a massive like stock portfolio. I think for myself, I like what I'm trying to do now is get more into physical business and doing more of that. And finding ways just to generate money, to generate capital without having to do too much. But yeah, right. Okay, so there goes the highs again on session open. So I'm not answering these questions very well at all because I'm also watching the charts now. I think shorting this. Oh, there goes the highs on ETH. I think we got to look at some short, at least temporarily. I need to do a little bit of management on my own stuff here. So yeah, straight away we sweep London highs, drop. We'll give this some more time. Pengu. All right, what's up a lot today? Tau. Ah, fuck, I gotta take some profit on my own stuff. Hold on. I can buy back again later. I don't want to just miss an opportunity to TP. That would not be good. Sigh, that's up decent. Actually still looks fine. I don't know, maybe I don't need to worry about these lower time frames. Anyway, I did just take a short on Bitcoin. So we'll see how that goes. It saves me having to do too much taking profit on alts. So if I'm short BTC and I don't need to worry too much about then TPs on alts, because if the short on BTC makes profit, then it will even things out somewhat, right? Bear with, there's a lag in my hand because I'm trying to do a lot of stuff, tabs open. Yeah, I'm not thinking this through too much, to be honest. I'm distracted. Let's just focus on the NQ for a minute. But it's just this. The main reason I just took that short is because I don't have time just to be hitting TPs on things that I'm already long on. So it's just flattened the portfolio a little bit for a while. flatten my positions without having to flatten my positions. Flatten my exposure. Bring my long exposure down by bringing my short exposure up. Without having to bring my long exposure down, because I think long term things are looking very, very good. Okay, let's just watch. So as always, this will take a good while to play out. We know what we're aiming for on the NQ. Okay, we're aiming for these CPI lows. Wickless candle, it just pumped straight away. So we know we're likely to hit that. This is very, very nice from BTC though, right? And this could essentially be this range now, whereby we have, I'd still like to see these lows go, but basically like this is kind of working. We can go from those CPI lows to the New York highs and just see how this goes. So you kind of have this back to the midpoint. If you can bring it back into here, grab those lows. See if it rotates back towards the highs. Because essentially two pretty big events. There's CPI, there's New York Open. Nice 1 hour range. Back in here, take this, up to the top, back in here. Very good. This gap's filled. There's not really any imbalance so far yet. So this is holding, it's decent. Could just go straight for the highs. As long as we're holding around here. Nope. See where this closes. But yeah, this is kind of precisely what you'd want to see from the session open. Now I'd like to see a bounce if this low's swept. And then again, back up here. So we don't know about this low yet. We just know it's likely to go. Just going for this. Come on. And you guys get the thought process right of why I would be just, again, anticipating this to be a range to at least scalp from back into the middle. Okay, because if you've got a lot of positions here, right, these are areas that are going to be, it's high volume, they're going to be defended, it's going to be whatever you want to call it. All right, but a lot of traders enter the market on CPI, push price higher. Okay, it's natural that if that you're going to get some kind of bounce, some kind of demand around here. And again, same with the highs. You sweep the highs, it's the New York Open. So if we can take this low, get a bounce, you're looking back up towards here. But we don't know. This is just the very least. We were 100% expecting this to go. And it has. We'll see how this goes. Again, you can peek through it. At this stage, it's not really a trade to be had, not really a long. So yeah, I got that little internal bounce. But once you take the lows, you just, because there's no liquidity here, it's just you knew that that was going to go, right? This is the liquidity just below. Still kind of waiting for something concrete to trade. Can you check ETH? Yeah. I like this. Bounce. We can play. Come on. Oh, fuck off. Okay, we can't play. I can't play with this today. Can you check ETH, man? I don't know, but for me, all that bull run today is only because of CPI, and it's going to go down more. Yeah, I mean, usually, generally speaking, pre-CPI is usually a pullback, and then CPI price goes up. That's what we've had, like, as far back as I can remember, the vast majority of the times, and it's the same for FOMC. So we've had this pullback. I know NQ's at fresh highs again, but with Bitcoin, with crypto, we've had this pullback pre-CPI, pre-PPI. Generally speaking, it's the pullback before, and then things move up afterwards. But yeah, for myself personally, I think we're still a long way away from the end of this bull market. I think the way that the Bitcoin dominance is looking right now is looking really nice. If there's pullback, if there's dips are for buying. Yeah, I just generally like what I'm seeing across everything right now. Look at this shit, right? Just, and this is the thing. Like I have nice exposure to some assets that are doing very, very well. So Pengu, Sai, new highs again today. What else am I long on? Sui, right? Looking really, really good. ENA. So much more that this can do, right? It just, for me, it just doesn't look bad at all, right? It just really does not look bad at all. So we'll see how it goes. I do not see, yeah. If we go to 115, great, right? Great. Like, and like I said earlier, ideal scenario for me is this. Boom, boom, boom. Right? That's what I really, really want. And there's absolutely no reason to be bearish on the likes of the NQ. Yeah. Just looks like real nice, just just go back to COVID, right? It's identical, okay? Trump came into office, he wanted to create another COVID, another situation. Like, the world did fucking fantastic after COVID happened, all right? It was like the best time to be someone that had a lot of money. And he, like, if you're thinking about Trump, what would his aim be? Okay, saw what happened during COVID. He was in power during COVID, and the amount of money that was made for himself, his friends, his family, for anyone that has money, right? It was just insane. So generate something else that's going to do the same thing. Okay, he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about just the normal person in the USA. He wants to just generate a shitload of money. He's a businessman. So is this going to top here? No, it's not going to top after just taking out all-time highs. If you've spent that much like fucking up, doing all of this trade war stuff to create this panic, in order to create this is not going to stop here. Right? It's not going to stop here. And crypto is not going to stop here. Look at this, the Dusty Hunt. It's hidden the message because it's held for review. But I'm going to show it because I like it when a hater comes in, when a stupid like person that doesn't know anything comes in the chat. Dusty Hunt says, "You're a tool. Thank you very much. Where am I and where are you?" Anyway, yeah, I agree. I think it's going to drop, but of course, after we will see a new all-time high. Yeah. Yeah. People get triggered when I say, like, Trump doesn't like the average person, right? But this is the thing. It's, yeah, similar kind of situation to what happened in COVID. And I just do not see a situation where this falls back down now. Jog on. Who are you saying jog on to? I like it. It makes the stream more interesting. I don't get much hate. But I'm going to show their message. Nicholas, so NQ did basically do what you predicted, but while price was there, you said no trade to be had. Did I misunderstand something? Yeah, like, I mean, the probability is you're going to take the lows, right, from CPI. Let's just go back to this. I still need to put NQU on my watch list. I can't paper trade. I can't trade. I could trade. Go trade this. Blue Raincoat, such a tool you are. You said Tesla to $1,000 at the start of the year. We should roast you every day for that. What else Tesla doing? Hey, my previous Tesla call was on point. And it's still fine, right? It's still fine. This Tesla call was on point. This was the one at 110. Was it here? Yeah, 110. That was when I bought Tesla. It took new highs. This, yeah, we're fine. This will go to 1,000. There we go. I'm keeping it on my chart. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. What else was on point? My Nvidia call was the most legendary thing in the history of the world. Nvidia went to 1,000, and then they did the 10-to-1 stock split, and now it's trying to do it again. So what? I bought Nvidia when it was here, when it was like again 110, same kind of price, and it went to 1,000, and then they did the 10-to-1, and then bought back in when it was 100 again. So another opportunity to go in. Only as good as the last trade in it. Hey, I'm still up on that trade. What's all this? What's this TA? I don't know. Don't know what all this means. It's old. If I may ask, how do you track your stats between sessions? The one you mentioned briefly the other day. Do you use specific sheet, journal, or tool? I mean, I'm trading on a prop firm, and they give me all my stats. I'm way too lazy to input anything myself, so that is it. That's why I say, like, I could be a much better trader if I wasn't a lazy fucker. Because I hate journaling. And the thing for me is as well, like, I know journaling, of course, will help you trade. And tracking stats, backtesting, doing all of that kind of thing, it will make you a much better trader. But I know myself. I know I could spend an hour every day journaling my trades, looking back. And if I was to do that, again, I know I will never look at that shit again. I will never open that journal and study that journal and actually take in information. I don't learn that way. I don't process information that way. So yeah, the reason I know my stats is just because I trade on a prop firm that gives me them. It's just that is all it is. So I just take my trades, tells me how many trades I'm taking a day, and I can just put in like the way that I traded it. Okay, so it gives me that, and I can just write a note and easy peasy. The only time I will journal is if I'm trying something new, and I will try it until I know it works, and I'll try it until I have statistics available. So I'm not saying I never journal. I'm saying I don't do it consistently. So with this range trading strategy, this kind of thing, I journaled it until I built up enough trades to have some kind of statistics, to feel comfortable to show it, to feel comfortable enough to show it. I haven't kept up with that. If I notice it's not working, then I'll look back and I'll see if I can refine it again. But yeah, that's essentially it. Sorry, I'm not the best at keeping up with. So I'll track stats once. As long as it keeps working, I'm happy with that. If it stops working, then I need to look at things again. Basically. What about the time between the New York close and the later Tokyo session close? Don't you look at things like that? So I know, do you have a strategy for NQ that is for between London and New York session? So the stuff that I know, okay, these are the stats that I run. So for specific trades, okay, when I'm trading, if I found a range and I've traded a range, I know what the probability for that is. I know that it's whatever it was, 72%. For these, and you can find this online. There's a really good website actually, and you can input your own stats. You can start to test stuff. I think it's called edgeful.com, something like that. So on there, it has a ton of stuff. So this will tell you. So if anyone wants to do it, I think that's what it's called. Let me just take a look. Edgeful. And I never take things at face value. So if I see statistics, I'll look at them myself. Yeah, edgeful.com is this. So I have an account with this, but it tells me the stats, but then I research myself because once again, I need to know why. Okay, so this website, I have an account with that. And they tell you the statistics, the likelihood of if London is trading above Asia, what is the probability that New York is going to trade above London? How can you use that as an edge? That's up to you to find out. If New York session opens or goes a certain amount of points higher, what's the probability that that session remains green? It's that kind of thing. So that is, yeah, like that you can find those statistics easily. But what I always do is like, okay, how is that useful for me? Like, right, okay, cool. Just because London is green, okay, yeah, I know New York's likely to close green as well, more likely than not to close green. I know with the initial balance, right? If like whatever side of the initial balance gets taken out first, it's highly unlikely that the other side of the initial balance goes as well. So once again, this is something I talk about all the time. Let's just put a TPO on here and make it something that's actually reasonable to look at. Or I can just, you know what, I'll just regular trading hours. Okay, so your initial balance. Whatever side of the initial balance goes, it's like 88% probability the other side doesn't get taken. I think it's gone down slightly. It's like 80% now. So here, yesterday, initial balance, this white block, this white bar, initial balance high went. Okay, you're not going to take out the lows. Highly unlikely that you're going to take out the lows. So you're looking at higher prices. It could come all the way back down here, and then you can look for longs again here. Again, the day before that, initial balance high goes, the low does not go. Here, initial balance, no, it just stayed within the initial balance the whole time. This is actually when I was doing the live stream last week and I said like, okay, we're just going to stay range bound for the day. The same with this one. All right, initial balance low goes, you didn't come back up and take the highs. Here you did sweep both sides. It was a really thin IB. It did sweep both sides. So again, there's one to say it didn't work. Initial balance low goes here. You have an opportunity to short it for lower. Here, initial balance high goes, you're not taking out the lows. Here, initial balance high goes, you're not taking out the lows. And this is the thing. This is why, like, if you're trading NQ or if you're trading equities, you only really need to trade for the first hour and then maybe look back at it a few hours later. Because look, the first hour of trading. So here, that's your first hour of trading. That's all the action. What happens afterwards? Not very much. Not very much to do. Here, your first hour of trading. What happens afterwards? Flat. Here, your first hour of trading, right? What happens afterwards? Not very much. It stays flat. Here, your first hour of trading. What happens afterwards? Not very much. So, yeah. So these kind of statistics are really useful. Just knowing when to trade and like giving yourself a bias, that kind of thing. So we have swept London lows, we have swept London highs. Can I turn on this? Yeah, no I can't. But this for me would be a long. Okay. Roughly where we are now. If we can come down and take these one more time, be better. But I'd be looking for a long around here. Heman, I noticed 15 to 20% point. Oh, I noticed 15 to 20 points down on ES is usually a good long on open. Yeah. So again, this can tell. I think on Edge4 it tells you can run stuff like that. So you can say, right, what's the average range for a day? And if you start to get outside of that average range for a day, you know that you're probably in a like looking at something that could be faded. Here we go. So again, there's not a whole lot to say here. We're kind of just chilling, but because we've come down into what is like really low risk for trying a long position, just back to the midpoint, that would have been the one. All right, you go for the long, you just see if you can take it back up into VWAP somewhere, and then your tolerance is down here. You're only really getting 1-to-1 off of this often, especially if you're just getting an entry in here. Ideally, you'd want to see this go a little bit lower or sweep the lows or whatever. Because it's not doing very much, I think like reasonably, it'd be reasonable to go for something like this. And the problem this has is it's got to get back through that VWAP again, this session VWAP. Where's your daily VWAP at? So, might not work out, but I think this has been long enough to just be like, okay, you go for it. You give it a go. Because it's not a very wide range. You're not going to lose very much if you get stopped. That would be better. All right, you've taken the low. That was nicer, but because we have this slow price action, there's not a whole lot that you can really be doing with this. The other funny thing for me is my first trade of the day is like, if I'm gonna lose on during the day, it always seems to be the first one I take. And then I start to have a bit more clarity. So if like I was to take a trade like this and I take a loss, then I start to think a bit about things a little bit more. I may be a little bit too eager to take that first trade of the day or that first trade of the session sometimes, which is why maybe on this occasion, because price action is slow, I'd be looking at taking a trade here where I could have just been patient and got a better R on it, or maybe just thought, right, okay, we're below VWAP, maybe not worth doing this, maybe worth waiting more. But yeah, you guys see this on the trading rooms all the time. Like quite often, the first trade that's taken will be a loss, and then it's like, okay, right, okay, now let's think about this sensibly. And then from that point onwards, it's fine. Usually. Come on, ENA. I want some more stuff to pump. The other thing about this is it's like where is this gonna go? There's not really any TP levels. It's just working off of that basis of, okay, we've had half an hour. We probably find that we've formed some kind of range here soon. It doesn't look like we've really got a low yet, but we have taken out London lows, so worth a shot. But none of this looks particularly convincing. I'm not on the 30-second time frame either. Yeah, this looks even less convincing. 1, 2, 3 30-second candles in a row, but whatever. The market doesn't have to look good, it just needs to give you some money, even if the trade's not ideal. This would not have been a good one. So you wait this out. This is where tolerance would be on something like this. Another equal low? Really? Hey, there we go. Now that actually took the lows. That's better. I did. I don't know if you saw this, but again, this is the kind of thing that I often look for if I want to be a bit more like just patient and waiting for an entry. If you saw what happened just then, and you'd have to rewind and just see it, and I don't even know if I saw it, because I'm pretty sure when I said like, all right, another equal low, that hadn't happened. And then suddenly that wick just moved and it went green. Right, so it was just kind of chilling down here. And it was like, I think it was like green candle anyway, and then just suddenly went boom. And if you were watching the order flow at that point, that would have been a big order. If you turn on the footprint, you probably would have seen something happen. And it's at that point where you just get that like switch, where you just see the wick just like, okay, that's just formed out of nowhere almost, because it happened so quickly. And then you've got, all right, big positioning there. That's the point in which you reverse. And it's just one of those things, you just kind of spot it sometimes, and you get enough, like, okay, if you're in that position, you're taking out a high there, it's like a good opportunity to TP. Watch it back. If like, all right, or do it now, like really quickly. Go back like 3 minutes and just look at this candle. I'm pretty sure that when I was saying like another equal bottom, that wasn't there, and then it just suddenly everything just moved, and it's like, whoa, okay, right, everything was really slow, and there was just a boom, and it just went crazy. And that's the kind of thing you want to see. And again, if you were looking at the footprint, if you were watching the DOM, if you were reading the tape, you would have seen something happen there. So I can't show it all on here, but you get the idea. And now, it wasn't the best trade in the world, but you're back at the midpoint. Okay, so it's a TP. That trade's actually played out. Could have been a lot better if I was patient, but if I was taking that, you're basically done here. All right, you're back at the VWAP, you're close enough to this, you got the from here to here. I want to see if I can find. Hold on. All right. Nicholas, maybe you developed some premonition and anticipated the wick before it happened. This guy talks about how good traders feel something a few seconds into the future. Yeah, you do. I mean, this was what TA does, really. I mean, with TA, you're trying to tell the future, right? So all the time, like every single second you're spending in front of the screen is learning how to predict what happens in the future. And if you're trading on a 30-second time frame like I do, then yeah, I'm literally only looking a few minutes into, like a few seconds, a few minutes into the future often, because all I really want is just that boom, that reaction. And when I see that reaction, you can do it however you want. You can stick the footprint on the chart, and you can have a look at things in a lot more detail. So if we put on the volume footprint here and we have a look at actually what happened, right? There's your zeros. Okay, so there's your excess at the lows. if we put this down to, it went one tick lower. But that one tick was enough to run stops. So those are your stops being hit. Now there's not a lot of volume in this, but it is significant enough to have given this move higher, right? And we can watch this again. I don't use footprint much because and this is the thing, when you start to, it becomes like intuition, and you just kind of know, like you don't need to see the zeros to know that stops have gone. So when you see zeros, right, it stops. It's stop losses being hit. Or it's slippage. It's slippage of some kind. So with stops being hit, it's gonna create slippage. If it's alternatively, if you have something like this, it's slippage. So someone opens 22 contracts here, it just goes boom straight through, right? And it creates that slippage. So it's that kind of thing. You don't always have to see it just to know that it's there. Again, you have quite a few shorts that just open at the top there. That's probably enough to cause like a little bit of a pullback. You run some short stops. And as this trade's already hit target, there we go. Woo! All right, now we're moving. So let's zoom out of this a little bit, and now you have the potential for a short if we come back up towards these highs. Okay. Let's keep the footprint on here. Let's just make it 4. We'll make it like $1 ticks, so we can still see what's going on. Nah, I don't like it. You don't need it. There goes that high nearly. And if it's back up to this kind of area, this would be POI for shorts. Again, just trying to trade within this range. Don't you ever follow SPX when trading NASDAQ for correlation? Nope. Once again, if something's not working, the thing is, you're looking a few minutes. Okay, you're looking a few minutes into the future, and for when I'm scalping, you don't need it. Really, it sounds silly. I don't need to know levels. I don't need to know. I just need to know where the liquidity is on that particular asset and just get the reaction from that. Yeah, I know that there's something to be said for the divergence between the two, in the same way that there's something to be said between the divergence on BTC and ETH. But I don't trade the NQ like I trade BTC and ETH. I'm not taking big day trades that I'm holding for a few hours. 1 to 4 minutes is my average. So if it's that, like, is it worth it? Is it worth looking at what the ES is doing when you're in a trade for a couple of minutes? Not really. Because by the time you've made a decision, like, oh, do we have divergence? Do we have this like SMT or whatever on the ES? The opportunity's gone at that point. So as soon as you start to like doubt it or start to like add too many variables into the mix, or like you're looking at too much information, this is why I don't use the footprint. I don't look at any other assets when I'm trading this. It's just simply, that is what I have. Like what you see on the screen there is what I trade when it comes to the NQ. I have nothing, just pure bars, and I don't even use candles because for me that's too noisy. All right, it's like even that is too much information on the chart for me. Just make it as simple as I can, and I often don't use this either, right? Like I trade like this. I often trade the NQ, and like when I'm looking at it, I'm just like this. All right, there's a high, there's a low. Where's your session highs and lows? You just mark them out. Cool, bang, bang. You've taken them. There's another low, and you're just doing that. Maybe from time to time, not a VWAP. Maybe from time to time, I'm putting this on here, just to know where imbalance is, what we're likely to revisit at some stage. But yeah, that's it. Like that really is it. So less is more. This was left over from the first half hour of trading. Hasn't come back into it, so you're likely going to clean this up. Throughout the rest of the day, I'd say you've got a pretty high probability that this goes. Not necessarily all the way down there. So all imbalance, just generally speaking, will disappear by the end of the IB. So you have this little bit of an imbalance here that's gone. Okay, so the next trade I'd be looking at would be up here, and I'd be looking back towards the midpoint. So again, I can keep this on the screen just to show you. And you're looking for this something in here. And this is the nice thing again about a range. Like even if we go and we're creating new all-time highs again afterwards, all right, you can at least get a TP just by coming back into the middle and going for another high. But see how it goes. I saw a question earlier on, I didn't answer it. Glyph, how much for a 1-to-1? If you send me, like, again, if anyone wants this and we want to just like trade a session together sometime, I don't do them very often. I did it I did 2 hours the other day, and I'm going to do that again. And I mean, if I'm around and I'm at the charts and I'm doing stuff, then I'm happy to do that. Like if it's like, usually for me it's like $150 for an hour, but like $100 I did the other day. But yeah. So again, just if anyone's interested, there goes these ones. If we're bullish and we're going to go higher, this now should hold because you've just swept these lows. If we're not, if we close down here, then you're probably going to go for this stuff. And then maybe another opportunity for a long down here. But I wouldn't tend to be opening trades in the middle like this. But it's just like, just gives you an idea of where price might be going next. Close most of my long. Nice one again, Luke. You are very welcome. Cool. So yeah, well done if you took any long from here. This is the thing. It wasn't looking great until this point here, until like that 1 second little glitch. But it played out, and this is just why you just don't really need to think about when you take these trades, because it's just backed up by probability. So even if it's not looking good, I honestly thought I was going to lose that trade, but or the trade idea. Again, I'm streaming. I'm not actually taking these, So full disclosure, I'm not in this trade because I'm just concentrating on this right now. I will do some like actual live proper trading on the platform. Like I've done that in a few trading rooms, but it kind of depends how I'm feeling. Because when I do these streams, I more so do it because I just want to like talk through what is my thought process and give some education rather than like be like rather than have that pressure of like, okay, I'm actually like my money's on the line here. So yeah, anyway, you get the idea. All right, nothing's really happening now. Smash on a couple of alerts here and here. Whatever happens with these. Any more requests? Who's this Carlos guy? Let's get rid of that spam. There we go. No one wants to hear his shit. Shilling some nonsense. Dixie. I am liking what I'm seeing. Like the fact that the DXY is bouncing and everything else is holding quite well. This gives more potential for when this comes back down again, because it's probably going to do that. And it just adds a little bit more fuel to what we want to see. Bitcoin dominance still dumping. Everything's looking very nice. Oh, I fucking hate the Kato. Why is this on my screen? Okay, yeah, anything else that we want to look at today? Anybody got any requests? Let's load up all of this. Let's see what's up or down the most for the day. Jeez. Woo. What's Tyco? Don't know what that is. What's SPK? Not a clue. Spark. Edwin, you're very welcome. Up on the Top Step account. Well done. What is Spark? OM. Zero. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to call it a day here. $10:30 p.m. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get this before I get tired. I mean, it's 7 minutes to go until the end of the IB. How many people do we have? 33. We're just still... I mean, it's taken this long and we're just still hanging around the middle of this. Yep, I'm going to call it. So again, we know if it comes up towards these highs. What is this? My screen is flashing bright colors. What does that mean? Is that a new subscriber or something? I don't know. No idea what that was. All right, cool. Yeah, thank you everybody, and I will see you again very soon. So yeah, tomorrow trading room crew, and then I'll do another stream again soon, And if you want to do one of these sessions together sometime, just drop me a DM, and yeah, we can do a little one-to-one call or whatever you want to do. So thank you everybody, and I'll see you all again very soon.